Hey guys, hope you're all well. I was very upset last week to find out that Lomachenko has retired. He's probably one of my favourite boxers I've ever seen. I was lucky enough to go watch him at the Luke Campbell fight when he was boxing at the O2. But I was a huge fan of him before, has always been a fanboy after. And so today I wanted to do a little bit of a tribute. I've kind of realised I've broken down Lomachenko before, but I've broken down two of his losses. So I wanted to do a win, basically. He had a great performance against Kambosos, and I really wanted to break down Lomachenko at his best, basically. So, okay, here we go. I've picked round 7 today. The first thing that we're going to see from Lomachenko is his great looks. And along with that, his very consistent touch jab. I think I've counted one of the rounds in this fight. I was just counting how many times he touches the gloves. He touches Kambosos' lead glove with his jab. And he uses about 60 touch jabs around, which is insane. No wonder he is so good at knowing his distance, basically, because at that point, it's very hard to not understand your range if you're constantly checking it. But anyway, okay, so he's going to come out into this sort of bladed guard. He's going to touch the glove straight away. When I say bladed guard, I mean a high lead hand to the temple and the right hand just a little bit lower while your front shoulder is facing forward, making it look really bladed. Then he's going to go for a block look here, a sort of slip block look. He's walking around to his left right now with good distance in between him and Kambosos. As you can see again, just checking his distance with this jab here. Very sideways on, then he moves backwards with just slow steps just for a little bit. It's a sort of metronome lead hand of constantly going up and down and up and down. And when he decides to throw, it's usually at an offbeat timing. But anyway, he keeps going and it keeps going up and down. He changes his level just a little bit. He's looking to feint forward with a foot feint. He uses a small sort of level change feint here, a slip look again, and then pumps out the jab to the air here. Okay, lovely work so far. Great looks in lead hand. He then steps forward and again just touches, this time going for the face of Kambosos. A lovely level change before shuffling into range and in and out feint. Okay, this is looks and lead hand drill 101. Okay, it's really nice work. He then steps in with a slip look, comes back into his normal base and then pumps out another jab to the air. He then feints forward and decides to look for a counter. He comes forward, slips on the inside, 2 to the head as he shuffles forward, 1 over the top, and then pivots out with this frame. Kambosos completely misses his counter, and Lomachenko resets, comes back in and meets him at the center. Again, what he's doing with his looks right now is making it hard for Kambosos to time. Okay, so he's using his bladed look here. As soon as Kambosos whips out a jab, Lomachenko is just going to feint the slip, and it's going to sort of make Kambosos hesitant. He then, after this, goes back into a level change feint, just a short one. Again, coming forward with his slip looks, both hands high to the temple right now. Moving forward slowly, he's not rushing his work. Again, just touching out. If he misses, he misses, but he knows his range quite well, and he's being very intentional with jabbing to the air sometimes, okay? Here, you can see him do some wonderful feints, and this is so mentally tiring for Kambosos. Seeing this many feints around is quite abnormal, so as you can see, it's one here with the level change, then he's just feinting his lead hand, being very unpredictable with the timing of when he's about to come in, and then he keeps it up in the air. He sees Kambosos step forward, and then he steps back, feints the jab counter over the top. Okay, it's also subtle, but Kambosos is making these reads, and it's mentally tiring him out. He's coming forward with a couple more slip looks and feints. The lead hand is pumping out. He's sort of half jabbing and then jabbing out again, just touching the gloves. And again, all of this passive looks movements is all setting up this explosive attack. Slip and throw in the 2 straight away, then the 1 over the top. This time he tries to come into the inside angle with the frame and exits properly. One thing about Lomachenko is, as you've seen it twice now, he will step forward with the attack, but he will move out at an angle usually, okay? Really nice footwork. It makes it super hard to know where your opponent's going to be, okay? And as you can see, he leaves his lead hand out as a frame as he moves back to sort of make it even harder for Kambosos to step forward, okay? He then shuffles back, feints, uses a slip look as he moves around to his right, and then moves backwards with this sort of block hand here. another high guard, and then he starts feinting the lead hand again, and a lovely, lovely in and out feint where he drops, feints to the body, steps back out again, and then breaks his base, resets off to the right. Lovely, lovely work. Kambosos does the correct thing. And actually, Callum, if you're watching right now, this is what your opponent was doing, right? You were resetting and he was shuffling straight away and turning his body. That's exactly what you want to do. Lomachenko decides, I'm not going to set my feet here. You have cut me off well, so I'm going to feint coming back into my base and then actually decide to roll out and continue misdirecting and resetting to my right. And then that's what slows down Kambosos, okay? As you can see, he's choosing when to reset and when to stop resetting. That's what a lot of you guys need to do more, okay? Anyway, he resets, he misdirects a little bit and then comes back in straight away with a feint, okay? Then he's using his slip looks to his left, lovely level changes, lovely slip looks. He's looking for a counter as he moves around to his left. He sees Kambosos commit, step back and tries for the jab over the top. Lovely work. Kambosos thinks he's now safe, and then Lomachenko is actually going to decide to keep going. He's going to shuffle forward. He feints the lead hand up, level changes to the body, steps back out of range. Lovely, lovely work in terms of tiring out Kambosos with all these feints. Again, lovely slip feint here, great looks, great blocking hands, really bladed, just stalking forward slowly. Sometimes he uses the step back look to confuse the range, especially when Kambosos touches the gloves, okay? And then he's going to step back in with a high lead hand feint. You can see how reactive Kambosos is getting now, and then a lovely touch jab to the gloves. Again, constantly moving that head, lovely, lovely slip looks here. As Kambosos moves to his right, Lomachenko readjusts his hip position and then just feints low, stepping in and out of range with the looks and then just touching the jab. I mean, these are by far my favourite looks in boxing. They're just excellently done and so intentful. So here, Lomachenko is going to turn a look into some defense. He's going to move forward into this slip feint here. But as he sees Kambosos commit, he gets low into this squeeze and shuffles back before breaking his base and resetting out to his right quickly. He never really moves back too much in a straight line. Again, moving around to his right, slipping over. Here, Kambosos tries to land this left hook around to the hip. Lomachenko moves back, and again, after he moves back, he bounces his base. He shouldn't really be ready to defend here. And Kambosos knows this and is going to try bite on it. Tries to go for a left hook. Lomachenko, lovely, lovely reaction. Looks for defense and then slips low, squeezes forwards and pivots away. Great defense. Here, Lomachenko is going to put a little bit more of the pressure on him with the touch jabs, okay? So he's been doing single touch jabs a lot, and he's actually going to use 3 jabs here, okay? So he's going to feint first, just a little one, and then touch the gloves, flick the jab out again, flick the jab out again, staying very, very close to Kambosos on his reset, right? And that's great because that's going to put a lot of pressure when you're trying to move away from someone, but someone's still in your range and showing you they're in your range by touching your gloves. He sort of eases off and lets Kambosos reset a little bit more. He takes a step back and then decides to shuffle forward. And then he's going to do something really excellent. As a southpaw or an orthodox against a southpaw, you have 2 options with a jab. You can either jab with your front hand, as Lomachenko is doing here, or you can find the range with your left hand, okay? So after these looks here, he then slips inside and then just throws out a touch 2. So now he knows his range with the 2 as well as his jab, which is really interesting and a bit demoralizing for Kambosos, okay? Then he's going to feint upstairs with the lead hand, feint low with the lead hand, come back in. And what Lomachenko is looking for is to get Kambosos into a horrible position here, okay? And he's going to do that with feint. So he's going to touch upstairs. He's going to feint low. He's going to come around to the right with the looks. Then he's going to flick the jab up as he takes the angle, feints the jab to the body and the hook to the body. Kambosos gets into this horrible position. Lomachenko, all he's got to do is step back, frame, and try to hook around the side. Doesn't land, so he goes back into a frame again and tries the hook. Kambosos luckily gets out of here, and this is really demoralizing. He then looks for defense because he knows Kambosos is eager to retaliate, and then just ducks low, and Kambosos actually even falls over. Just excellent, excellent work. Man, I'm such a fanboy. Okay, we're going to work from this angle a little bit, and it's not such a bad angle because we get to look at his feet a little bit. You can see him move backwards slowly with his bladed look. You can see him step forward and to the right with this touch jab here, and then touch again before stepping out, really confusing the range for Kambosos. Then he's going to slip forward, again, move around to the inside angle with left steps. Again, just making it really hard to read whether he's in and out of range, making himself an elusive target for Kambosos' touch jabs by constantly slipping. And then here he's going to try to commit to a jab. Kambosos reads this and times him with a good left hook to the body, actually, with a good counter. Lomachenko retaliates straight away as he sees Kambosos pull away and then tries for this left hook around, but it hits the chest. Again, confusing the range, feinting forwards, baiting out an attack from Kambosos. He then slips. He sees Kambosos come forward with a jab, so he just takes a step out of the right hand. He sort of confuses his base going backwards, but is just going to try to reset and then slips away from the follow-up jab as he knows he's in a bad position. But he's very reactive off the bad positions to be defensive, so it's interesting. I think Kambosos has missed quite a bit here, which is ruining his confidence. So Lomachenko knows this, and he's just going to keep feinting forwards, be a little bit more aggressive with his looks now. He's now thrown almost 2 minutes of level change feints, right? He's done it time and time again. So now he's going to finally decide to commit. He does it once more, and then he goes level change, high, low, and then a beautiful 2 to the body, step back out, and once he sees Kambosos isn't retaliating, he jabs back in, feints the right hand, which makes Kambosos defensive, and then decides to fake to the body again and goes for this wonderful 3 where he just goes touch with the 2, right hook over the head, which misses, but then lands this beautiful left hand here, tries the jab over the top as Kambosos ducks low, and the uppercut before moving away, resetting out to his left. Everyone talks about his attacks, but he can only do it if he does that many feints and that many looks, okay? And that many measurements with the touch jabs, okay? He can't do it if he doesn't set it up properly, progressively over time. Again, moving off to the inside angle, flicking up the jab to the gloves, lovely work. He's moving back here. He sees Kambosos commit, so he just uses a squeeze, looks for defense, and just tries to pivot out as he smothers. Once he takes this body shot here, he's going to wait at close range and then just pop out this lovely 2 as a counter before defending himself. Here he's stalking forwards and looking for a counter. He's waving around his lead arm, level changing again. Kambosos really only commits once he thinks that Lomachenko's relaxed, but Lomachenko keeps baiting him into this. He's relaxed. He doesn't have his proper base under him. Kambosos tries to commit. Lomachenko knows he's about to, so he just steps back again, jabs over the top, feints low, and then comes in with this 1, 2, 1. It doesn't really land, and they get onto this clinch. Really nice countering reactions from Lomachenko. They're on this clinch. Lomachenko then pulls himself away. And you see Kambosos' reaction to that is just to sort of pull away himself, expecting some shots. He's going to straight away shuffle back in, Lomachenko. And then as he sees Kambosos break his base to his left, he touches upstairs. He's going to see that Kambosos is squared up. Now touch around the guard, hook to the body. Lovely work. Shuffles off square onto his right to cut him off, and then feints in, jabs on the inside, touches again before squaring up his base and cutting him off to his right. He's trying to get Kambosos in the corner. He's feinting low. He's coming up high. And then he goes again for this explosive touch in and then this wonderful 2 to the body before taking a slight step out and then cutting him off with the shuffles to the right. You can see him feint on the shuffle here, which raises Kambosos' guard, leaves an opening in between, and Lomachenko exploits it with this up jab. Again, lovely work of turning his body, shuffling over, and staying really aggressive on Kambosos' resets to not let him breathe, okay? Really good cutting off the ring here. Here he's going to try for a wonderful 3. He's going to feint first, and then he's going to go pull down the guard, 2 over the top and a 1 over the top before, again, using it as a frame, pivoting off and avoiding all the follow-up shots. Lovely work. He resets to his left, moves forward with his looks. We've seen his looks loads of times now, so I don't want to keep repeating myself on what he does. Using up, down, touch in, feinting out of range, slip looks here, and then uses this beautiful level change off the high guard at close range, steps into the jab, and then steps into the hook to the body here. Again, he sees Kambosos try to exit, so he just tries to pop him with a jab, but it doesn't really land. He shuffles forward, knows he's too close, and then tries to parry and slip out of range. Now, is he going to rest here? He's worked very hard. It looks like it, but no, he comes straight back in with a level change and a great 2 to the body. Very offbeat, very, very offbeat. When you think he's about to rest, he explodes out of nowhere. Again, slowly closing the distance here with the same look again and again, and then decides to change up the pace and just go for a level change here, step back out, relax, come back up with his high guard. He thinks the angle's right, so he just goes for a pop, lovely, lovely jab. He then feels like it's safe to stay there. He touches twice before going for this beautiful left hook to the body. This is what we mean by pick your shots at close range. You can touch, bang. And the only reason it is safe to, the only reason why Kambosos isn't throwing a lot of punches right now is because Lomachenko has forced him again and again and again into defensive positions with the feints. This is what constant feints can do to an opponent, especially 7 rounds in. So again, relaxes, cuts him off to his right, back into the center, and then he just level changes, uses his up and down look of the guard. He then moves off to his right, breaks his base, feints a little bit, and he's going to do one last explosive attack. He's going to wait in the center here, look for a counter. So he raises his guard, baits Kambosos into touching it. He's going to see the touch jab coming. As you can see, he drops his lead hand, pulls away from it, and then steps into the right. This wonderful lead hand work of taking down Kambosos' left glove before finding the opening for the 2, the 1, gets sideways on the inside, gets low, and then goes for 2 left hooks around to the side. Lovely, lovely work to finish the round here. And then steps back out of range. He knows Kambosos wants to retaliate, so he's just moving back, keeping the distance, and then decides to shuffle back, reset to the left, and once he sees he's got no space to exit, he ducks low into this squeeze, gets onto Kambosos' chest, and then tries at close range for this left hook around to the guard. Kambosos retaliates quite well with this left hook, but Lomachenko is too smart to trade and decides to go for a clinch, and that's the end of the round. Just incredible work. I really, really enjoyed that round. I think that's one of my favourite breakdowns I've done so far, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Okay, I'll see you lot next time. Happy training, guys.